Hi everyone, it's Nikki. So, every so often when I get together with people who I haven't seen for a really long time, especially extended family that I haven't seen since I was younger, some people have this memory of me that I really, really used to love strawberry milk, that I had to drink it with every meal and I really, really had to have my strawberry milk. It's just kind of an odd thing because the truth is, I didn't actually like strawberry milk. I didn't like any milk at all. And I want to talk about this because I think it relates to other things. I'm not mad in particular about strawberry milk, but I feel like this relates to a lot of other kinds of things as well. So, the reason why people remember that I had to have my strawberry milk is this. I grew up in the 90s during the got milk era. And if you weren't around during that time, there was a big, big push that all kids had to drink 3 glasses of milk every day. It was just pushed as something that you absolutely had to do. Now, I hated milk. I absolutely hated the taste of milk. I would not even eat it in cereal. And my parents really believed that you needed to have 3 glasses of milk a day. And I absolutely refused to do that. I was like, no way, milk is gross. I am not having 3 glasses of milk a day. Now, my parents were trying to find a way that I would drink the milk, something to flavor it, something to hide the milk flavor. Now, I didn't like chocolate, so chocolate milk was out. So they said, what about strawberries? So we tried adding some strawberry syrup to milk, and I was like, okay, that's tolerable. And the key here is tolerable. I didn't like strawberry milk. Like, if it hadn't been for growing up in that generation where milk was being forced on kids, there's no way I would have ever chosen to drink strawberry milk. Um, so it wasn't that I wanted it. Like, I know some kids who just love chocolate milk and they would have had chocolate milk just as a fun thing to drink, even if we hadn't been in the got milk era. But that was not me. I never would have drunk any strawberry milk if it hadn't been for milk being forced. So, the reason why this is something that people remember about me is that, it wasn't a big deal if I was just going over to somebody's house for the day or for like one meal or something. But anytime that my parents and I traveled for a long time, like if we were going to be staying at somebody else's house for like a week or longer than a week, um, my parents didn't think that it was okay for me to even go a week without milk. Like that's how much this milk campaign was pushed, that I couldn't even live just 1 week without drinking milk. So the expectation was that I had to have milk if we were going to be gone that long. But now, and you can kind of assume that most families we stay with would have milk in the house, especially if they had kids, but they wouldn't necessarily have strawberry syrup. So we used to take a bottle of strawberry syrup with us. I remember we would always carry it in the suitcase. We'd wrap it really tight so it wouldn't spill on anything. And the couple of times that I went down to stay with family by myself, my parents sent me down with a bottle of strawberry syrup. And so that's why everybody remembers this about me, because it was such an unusual thing to just be traveling around with a bottle of syrup in my suitcase. And I can understand why you would think that it was something that I liked, but it really wasn't. This wasn't the same as just like bringing along your favorite snack because you like it, because you want to make sure you can have it. Again, this had to do with the fact that milk was being forced and there was no option of just not having milk at all. So my parents sent me with the strawberry syrup in my suitcase to make sure that I drank milk because I couldn't go a week without milk. So, and I do understand why people remember that. And, I don't think it's necessarily weird that people remember it because it's an odd thing to have strawberry syrup in your suitcase. But the reason I want to bring this up is that this is something that people remember about me as being like my thing when it really wasn't anything that I chose. Because the milk thing was something that was being forced on all the kids. So it's a little bit odd that that gets associated with me. And I'm not mad about the strawberry milk in particular because that's a small thing, but I feel like so many things are like that. Like, for me, the things that would be like that would be like the college that I went to, that's completely one of those things that's just forced almost everything I did there other than like a few activities I chose. Getting good grades in general, the like middle school and elementary school that I went to, like being at that particular school, I would say was like a strawberry milk type of thing. Yeah, getting good grades, National Honor Society, behaving well in school, being quiet, listening to the teacher, behaving like just all that kind of stuff was like it wasn't anything that I would have chosen. Like, it's not me, it's not who I am. It's the kind of thing like the strawberry milk where I'm I'm doing what I need to do to get by. Like, that strawberry syrup came with me everywhere because I was being forced to drink milk, so I needed to have something to block the milk taste, and I feel like a lot of the other things that I've done that I'm kinda, like, known for, especially with school and getting good grades and all that kind of stuff, it really was just what I had to do to get by in a situation that I didn't choose to be in. And I feel like we all have things like that. Like I've talked to so many people. I mean, there was even someone I knew who wrote poetry when they were younger. And then I was like, oh, do you still like to write poetry? And it turned out they were doing that to just please their parents because their parents wanted them to write poetry and they weren't even interested in doing it. So, that's a common thing, and I want to bring this up because I just think we all need to be more respectful of the fact that a lot of us have things like that and really understand that what you saw of somebody's behavior doesn't necessarily mean that that's who that person is or that that's what they would want to be doing, that's not necessarily what they would have chosen. It can sometimes be what they were being forced to do or something that they were kind of just doing to get by. And it's something to just respect when people tell you that. Like, respect it if you're like, "Oh, I remember that you were so into this," and they're like, "Actually, no, I was peer pressured into that. My parents pushed me, my teachers pushed me. For whatever reason, the Got Milk campaign pushed me, like, forever whatever reason, I didn't actually wanna be doing that." Just respect it. Like, don't fight back against that and like really insist that no, like this is who you are because it's not. Like, a lot of the things that people remember me for aren't who I am, and I'm sure that's the same for other people too, that a lot of it might not actually be who you are or what you actually were interested in. And don't be afraid to tell other people no. Like, don't be afraid to tell other people to, can you stop associating this thing with me that isn't really me. So don't be afraid to do that, and make sure that we're also listening when other people ask you to please don't associate this thing with me.